your marketing it's an organ, like the whole thing is, it's tied to sales, right? And what's awesome about Justin is like, I don't really think you should be spending more on marketing right now. I think we need to focus on your sales team before we focus on the marketing and having that, that kind of data. But then also,
welcome to Movified Wednesdays. Let's go. Welcome to Movified Wednesdays.
Welcome everybody to Movified. I'm here with some guests today. You might notice that Mark is not with us this week. He is at the CAM. I don't know what the CAM Festival is, but you Canadian guys will know. He's out there with a lot of movers in Canada at a conference, so I'm assuming it's like the ATA. Really excited about this episode. We get to do an in-person episode with some legends here today. We're live from Brian Slater's house in Naples, Florida this week. So Brian Slater's here with us. We got Tim Krupp and we got Eric Wirks. Welcome, gentlemen.
hey, Steven, thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us. And what those guys said.
All right. So I just wanted to go through some. We came here. I want to kind of go through. We meet. This is the second time we've done this. Came down to Brian's Naples house and meet and get to reset. We turn our phones off, focus on what we're going to do, and talk about what we're going to do. And this trip was a really important one that I wanted to do a recording at and kind of share, because we all have really big plans for our passion, and that is helping the moving industry. And so this episode, I kind of want to talk about what our plans are for 2026 and what everybody's doing. So I'll let Tim start. What's the big news for Built to Move? What's the big plan 2026 this year?
Yeah, so we're kicking off 2026 with a virtual event on January 7th and January 8th that we're really excited about.
What is a virtual event?
What's that?
What's a virtual event?
Yeah, so the virtual event will be basically, you could tune in, from your computers, from the office. We're going to be doing it live. We're bringing in a professional company to do like all the production, the video, to make sure that it looks really good. We're going to have some people in the room, so there's also some energy, a very small crowd. But the in-person event was such a success. But it sold out really fast, and there was a lot of people who wanted to be there who couldn't be there. There were a lot of people there who got a lot of value that wished that their teams could have been there to get that value. So we just thought it was really important to try and get this information out to everybody. And so that's why we've kind of like transitioned and pivoted, and we're giving this option, so anybody, can sign up, get their whole team, in front of this thing. It's a 2-day event. We're trying to make it like 4 or 5 hours a day, middle of the day, middle of the week, totally doable for companies. But yeah, so really excited about Built to Move and getting this information out to the moving industry.
You know what? Let me ask you this really quick, Tim. When I was at the Built to Move in Worcester, Ohio, Worcester, correct?
Yeah.
Worcester.
Yeah,
more
Worcester.
When I was out there in Worcester, I noticed that a lot of people were telling me that it was one of, if not their favorite convention that they had ever attended because of the type of material. What were the good things that you heard about the convention, or the things that really stuck out to the client base that you were able to pull off that they should expect on the virtual event?
Yeah, so it's going to be a lot of the same information, but the feedback that we got was really, people really appreciated that we were very tactical, that it was more like a classroom. Come ready to learn, come ready to take notes. You are going to find things that you're going to want to take and, start implementing into your company right away. So a lot of the feedback we got.
Who are the speakers for us that don't know out there?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So the same speakers that were at the live event, all of us are speaking, all of us. And then Winston Davis is going to be speaking. You guys all know him.
Shout out to Winston.
Yep. Justin Queen is also going to be speaking. So he's a marketing, especially like digital marketing, just guru and CMO, kind of like all wrapped up in one. He's got a really fresh perspective.
His speech absolutely changed my organization and how I'm looking at marketing in this next year.
That's what's happened with me, with Justin in the past year. He's changed the way that I look at marketing altogether, because it's your marketing is, it's an organ, like the whole thing is, it's tied to sales, right? And what's awesome about Justin is like, I don't really think you should be spending more on marketing right now. I think we need to focus on your sales team before we focus on the marketing and having that, that kind of data. But then also we have Dan Owolabi, who's a dear friend of mine. He's a best-selling author of a book called Authentic Leadership. Leadership is one of the things, the key pieces that I see in moving companies that are successful have really strong leadership. And I think sometimes we don't focus enough on developing as leaders and are concerned enough about the culture of our teams.
Hey everyone, Matty Mailers here, the guy who pioneered handwritten letters for the moving industry. Why? Because my competition at my moving company was using the same stock postcards as me, and my mailing company didn't care. So I created a better way. Here's some mind-blowing results in July. Miracle Movers Utah closed $93,000 using our handwritten letter strategy. With our campaigns, you can forget about the guessing games. You get a trackable phone number, daily photo proof, an incredible design team, and I'm also included. All letters stop at me for approval before they ever leave our facility. Right now, Movified listeners get 1,000 golden tickets stuffed in our genuine handwritten letters completely free. Plus, I'm going to throw in bulk realtor data for up to 5 counties. What are you waiting for? Moving Letters AI. Stop competing, start dominating.
Being found on the second page of Google is literally like having a billboard in the middle of the desert. Your mama ain't gonna see it. No one's gonna see it. You're on the second page of Google, no one's gonna call, no one's gonna book. Here is the deal. If your business is not ranking on the top of Google, that means your competitors are going to be stealing your customers every single day. So at Rotate Digital, we don't play any guessing games. We use data-driven SEO strategies to make sure Google finds you first, so that these Google searches turn into your customers, not your competitors' customers. How do we do it? We do it through AI-driven keyword optimization, exclusive blog networks, backlinking strategies, and honestly, the secret stuff, the proprietary lead attribution software. So what do you get as a result? You get not only good marketing, but now you get clarity into what is bringing you more revenue. So if that's something you want to do, you want to make sure your leads find you and not your competition, go ahead and go to rotatedigital.com, schedule a call, and we'll help you take your business to the top of Google.
Absolutely. So how would we sign up for the virtual event?
Yeah, so if you're in the moving and storage industry, it's going to come up on your Facebook feed. You're going to have plenty of opportunities. Right now, there's early bird pricing, $2.99. But actually, for people who are watching this and listening to this, Movified. So there's a discount code that's a $50 off of the early bird pricing, and it's Movified BTM. BTM stands for Built to Move. So Movified BTM.
All one word?
Yep, all one word. Yep, and you'll save an extra $50.
And what if we wanted to, we were just dying to go to Worcester and get there and meet all of us that are there,
Yeah.
there live?
So we did decide that we wanted to have a small crowd there, just to make it feel really good and have some energy in the room and make it feel more natural. So we're selling 15 VIP tickets where you can come and be one of the 15 people who are there in the studio with us and get all the information live, and also spend 2 days with all the speakers. We're going to eat together. We're going to hang out together, and it's going to be a great time.
Well, I got a pretty deep one for you.
All right.
Right. Why Built to Move? Why have you created this? Where did you see the space needed that you could use?
Yeah, you know what? I felt like there was things that I wanted to say, and I felt that there was a place for an event that was much more tactical, digging into reports and just like going deep into the, very specifically into our businesses from people who are in our industry and have been successful with moving companies largely, right? So largely always the speakers are going to be people who have primarily built really successful moving companies.
Nice. And Brian, why were you attracted to join the Built to Move movement?
Why was I attracted to Tim, or why was I attracted to the Built to Move movement?
Let's go.
The latter?
Built to Move
Yeah,
movement.
let's go.
Episode 2, we'll flip.
I don't know
over
if that
from you
episode's
to
ever going to come, if I'm being honest with you. Why was I attracted to what Tim was doing? I've always been somebody that ingests content from people like Alex Hormozy. And, I've seen things in the moving space before that were very elongated and sort of, I had to digest a lot of information in order to get to those nuggets. And I think that the group that Tim's been able to put together is much more of like a Alex Hormozy style. I'm going to tell you something in 30 seconds. You're going to understand it, and you're going to be able to do something actionable with it that same day. I think that that's, for most people, the most impactful stuff. I'm a fan of everybody that tries to do everything for the space, but I think that stuff that's more actionable or tactical is able to be put in place right away without having to think of how it can be rolled into your business. It's sort of like just a freebie for everybody in the crowd. And there was hundreds of freebies at this event.
Eric, why did you answer the call and get excited to speak at Built to Boo with Tim?
Well, one is, for those that don't know, that because I consider Tim my best friend. So I've sometimes get burned out on doing these things.
Yeah.
As well as podcast. But, since you're also one of my really good friends, Steve, I'm happy to do the spots. That's right. Absolutely. But no, Tim, it was definitely a need in the industry. There are several conferences out there. And one thing about conferences, at least that are valuable to me, it's not really the conference itself, it's the networking behind it. And one of the things that Tim did really, really well, and that I also was a part of, it was just almost like classroom format, like we're going to dive deep in some specific issues and we're going to learn. They paid some context behind that. Like when Tim asked me to do my presentation, I got not only myself heavily involved in that process, put the presentation here, but two different organizations put together. It was a ton of work based on the list that he wanted me to have. In fact, we probably did a little bit of overkill on the amount that I was supposed to talk about because my presentation went almost 2 hours just to cover all the things that Tim wanted me to address. But no, I was happy to do it. I love giving back value. I mean, I've been doing it for free for so many years now on Moving Company Owners Unite on Facebook. And anyone listening to this, if you're not a part of MCOU, which we abbreviate for Moving Company Owners Unite, search that Facebook group and come join it.
Absolutely, absolutely. So one of the things that I noticed, just to share my experience and why I was excited to sign up with Tim as soon as he said it, and say anything I could do to help the moving industry through this vessel is Tim brings a leadership to this industry that nobody else brings. I look at Tim as a light in fellowship, faith, being a husband, being a father, and being around what he attracted, being in a room of 100 people that were looking to improve themselves in each category was something that I was so motivated to be a part of and so thankful to be a part of on that side. So did y'all get those kind of feelings too, of being around that crowd of energy of people wanting to work on their business?
Yeah, I think the coolest thing that I saw at Built to Move, or the uniqueness that I saw at Built to Move, was actually people opening up those notebooks and page after page after page after page getting filled with ink, and the engagement that everybody had regarding the room and the speaker was like, you could almost hear a pin drop in regards to everybody focusing in on the speaker. So I thought it was a really, really cool event. I thought it was very gracious of Tim to launch the first one in such a small audience, even though he probably could have 3-4x'd it. He decided to keep it small and intimate and really make sure that it was most impactful for the 100 people that were there instead of packing them into the hallway. So shout out for making less money on the event, if anything at all, and just doing the right thing.
Yeah. Yeah, not only that, Brian, like one of the other things I noticed at Tim's event compared to other conferences is that the room was always just about 100% filled with the people that showed up versus like, half the crowd's going outside and skipping this speaker, 75% of the crowd's only at this speaker. No, I mean, from my perspective, it looked like dang near everyone who attended this event was at every single session the whole time.
Before we ever started using a moving CRM, someone asked me, could you 10x what you're doing right now with the current systems and processes you have in place? And I said no. And so he was like, well, then you need to just pull the trigger on the software. And then I saw Smart Moving and it was game over.
Austin joined thousands of moving owners on Smart Moving in 2021. Since then, he's more than doubled his business.
And I always compare Smart Moving to Apple products. It's just so simple, so easy to use, and that's really what's allowed my team to scale and now have 2 branches. And last year we scaled Central Coast Moving over 50% growth.
If you're ready to turn your moving company into a machine that drives profit, not chaos, try Smart Moving.
If you're considering Snowball, just do it.
Snowball creates done-for-you referral programs for moving companies so you can turn happy customers into new revenue without lifting a finger. And the results speak for themselves.
In less than a year, we've collected over 2,000 referrals.
We generated over $200,000 of revenue that cost about $5,000 to do it.
I believe we have 4 or 5 the very first day.
The companies winning with Snowball are the ones that already care about their customers. We just help turn that into new business through human outreach and customer nurturing.
Snowball is part of the arsenal of tools that I recommend to my clients because it works.
And I got to share, it was really neat to see the whole town know of Tim Krupp. So we'd go to different restaurants, we go to get coffee, and hearing the impact he's made on that community was extremely moving.
People talk about him like he's LeBron out there, which was really, it was super eye-opening to me to have a man that I knew so little about be compared to one of the greatest NBA players of all time, second to Jordan.
What do you think about that, Tim? Did that give you a good feeling in your town?
Yeah, I love living in a small town. It's awesome. I mean, it's definitely a place where everybody knows everybody, you know. All the business, a lot of the business owners know each other. I mean, I know all the owners of all the restaurants and everything. So it was super cool to be able to have, you know, our industry come in and hang out and get to see, you know, and be patrons of a lot of these business owners, which was really, I mean, I literally had one business owner come in from across the street, a lady,
the coffee shop
yeah,
with a big hug and tears in her eyes and said she loves you.
Yeah, she came in and gave me a big hug and just said, I just want to thank you so much for, you know, doing this in our town. And I've done so much business this weekend. And it was a big deal for her. It was a big shot in the arm, I think, for her business.
LeBron Krupp, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Eric, you gave a little bit of insight about how powerful your speech was, how Tim even let you add on time in the middle of it to continue because the crowd was having so many engagement, learning so much. Can you tell us what you were speaking on?
Yeah, I was speaking on like two completely different subjects that kind of that commingle with each other. One on behalf of, like, I spoke about Works Movement Storage's rebrand journey. Basically what led me to making that decision, the process of the decision looked like, the value as we got from rebranding, and all the analytics that swung heavily in the positive direction on why rebranding, or at least getting an assessment on the idea of rebranding, is probably one of the most important things a moving company owner could ever look at. It was definitely not, and I've said this many times in different channels, that probably one of the best decisions I've ever made late in the game in my moving company was doing a rebrand. And if I could go back, it's one of the things I would have done from the very beginning. And I also forgot the other part. And then the second part I talked about was basically the marketing side of USA Home Listings and how Works Movement Storage fully utilizes that platform and everything it has to offer. And exactly like that was part of my big value. I was like showing the audience exactly like, this is what we mail, this is what we do, this is how we outreach with this data, and this is like kind of our process from like 1,000-foot view. And then unlike Tim, I actually let people at the event get a copy of my presentation.
Yeah. On that presentation, I think Tim is wanting to do this virtual event, and that's why he's keeping his thing. So it leads us to what you're talking about, Tim. Tim, your speech, I think it was it 3 hours?
I think I spoke for about 2 hours.
2 hours.
Yeah.
And that was so impactful for me.
Thank you.
And I think the whole room, you want to talk about writing pages. Everybody in that room, you saw it from where you're standing, was writing left and right. And it was really good information that everybody can use right now to impact their business in some way, and how to check your health of your business. And I thought that was really key. So you're going to share that same speech on the
yeah, I'm going to do the same speech. I think everybody should be able to know how to go into their CRM and along with their P&L and be able to diagnose what's going on in their company and find issues with capacity and with pricing, and to be able to find money like in their cost of goods sold. You know, I think a lot of times we want to put together, you know, crazy KPI dashboards, and we feel like, you know, once I get all this bill, it almost becomes a shiny object, when really we've got some simple reports in our company that say a lot about our company and show us like where we're leaving money on the table. And a lot of this stuff is easy fixes, right? A lot of times when you're going through this audit, it's stuff that you can fix in your CRM and dial in as you go along. And we're just looking for like that low hanging fruit. But then you're able to take that information and kind of set goals for the next year, and like a roadmap of, you know, what the next, you know, 1 to 3 years looks like. And you just revisit that every couple of months to make sure that you're still on track. But yeah, I think it's super powerful for companies to be able to do that. And it's really like if you look at 3 reports in your P&L, you're going to find money, and you should be doing that like all the time.
And Brian, you shared an incredible, impactful insight on your career. You put a lot of thought into it. and had the loss, if you will. So can you kind of share what you shared at that event?
Yeah. So basically, I was speaking a lot about my own personal experience and what I've sort of gone through in the moving industry, and a little bit about my journey through private equity, what that was like when I got that call, how unexpected it was, and how it's changed my and my family's life throughout the course of that, as well as I sort of just went over like I would say about 19, 20 different tactical things that kind of helped shape who I was or who I became over the last 15 years in regards to the moving industry. I think to echo what Tim said here, a lot of us look at these bright, shiny KPIs, right? But it's like, and just to break this down, it's like, this is where we're getting leads. We're getting them at an affordable rate. We're hiring movers year round and not just, we're being proactive and not reactive, right? And, we're paying attention to our financials. We're making sure that we're fulfilling customer needs and hopping on the phone if we have a client that had a less than perfect experience. And I do believe that just 5 or 6 routine things inside of the moving industry are probably 90 to 95% of what we need to be focusing on every day. And then you start to get into the more granular things as you get more experienced, just trying to like sort of refine away. But Tim talks a lot about how to properly price your company. And I think that there's a lot more people that are calling around to their competitors now, acting like they're moving, because Tim Krupp has instilled in everybody to price yourself right, fairly against your market. And that's something that we should all be focusing on.
And on that note, in the past year, if we could not price shop and do test calls to big league movers, I'd much appreciate it. Or at least at the end, tell my sales guy so he doesn't keep following up and it hurts our stats. There's been quite a bit of that this past year that we found out by hounding people with a follow-up.
Steve has a certain booking percentage at big league that's, let's just say it's pretty damn high. And if it goes down 1% as a result of your calls, he's coming for you.
Yeah, I'm looking for it. Tim, you did a really great job at the event and one of the best settings that I've seen for a Q&A. And so every day at the end of it, all the speakers, and we did 2-hour locks. So there wasn't just a bulk of it where it's an overwhelming panel, but everybody got to ask questions to the speakers for that day. Are you doing anything for the virtual event in a similar fashion at all?
Yeah, so what we're going to be doing is actually while a speaker's speaking, the other speakers are going to be there answering questions, because you guys can answer all the questions that I can answer and vice versa between you. So what I'm thinking is like, we're going to have the laptop set up in the background. People are going to be in the chat asking questions, and then we're all going to be answering them if we're not speaking.
Nice. So I'm speaking on, I got 99 problems, but a VA isn't one. And we go over 99 ways a moving company can use a virtual assistant. One of the things that Tim did compared to other speeches that I have is Tim had multiple meetings with me, making sure that I was giving content that the people that are viewing Built to Move are doing. And so I just wanted to give you props, because in other conferences, nobody's ever really done that follow-up. And what are you presenting on and goals that you see for the client base that's coming. So that was pretty neat. We pretty busy guys here. I got their time for a minute, so I'm going to ask a few more questions and then we'll wrap it up. But I'll start with you, Eric. We've talked a lot about our plans in the future, how we're going to help the moving industry and how we're going to grow our companies besides just our moving companies. What is your goal in 2026, or what are some things that you're on pace to do and excited about next year?
Oh yeah, well, since I took over the CEO role in the very end of 2023 in December, so it hasn't even been 2 years yet. I just been going guns a-blazing. Was a lot of work to do.
A lot of innovation since that.
Yeah,
it seems
it's a completely different company now. No, but I can tell one thing that I think we might have just launched it, or about to any day. I can share with you all. We're now going to make it substantially easy to set up realtor mailing automations to build referral pipelines with your mailing, whether it's like postcards or handwritten cards. And
it's huge.
Yeah, and it's a completely different dashboard. The quality problem I have is I'm one person in the company that knows the least amount of like how it works. So there might be some things I might say that are inaccurate. I might not be able to give because I don't want to say nothing that's not true.
But anyway,
Well, you can call Hannah and Hunter at any time and ask these questions for validation.
But one of the things I know it's going to do is you're going to be able to set up, like, 'cause you don't want to, like, mail a realtor every day, but you're going to be able to set up, like, let's say it's broken down in, like, month increments. So if you want to set a mailing campaign out to realtors, like, once a quarter, once a month, you can mix and match. Like, you're going to be able to build tons of simple automations you want to do, and you can also make, and I'm pretty sure on this one, you can also make sure, like, you don't, like, double up on the mailing. So there'll be a lot of controls in place for it, and that's something that a lot of people will want. I think I think it's actually internally done right now. So be expected to see that, like, any day, any week now.
For somebody that hasn't been with USA Home Listings or hasn't updated their account since you came on board in 2023, what are some things that are different from just postcarding that now USA Home Listings offers?
Oh yeah, we took the homeowner data side to a whole other level.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, we offer emails and phone numbers of the homeowners selling their home,
and that's called Tier 2 data.
Tier 2 data, and that also includes the realtor selling the home, their email and phone number, sometimes their mailing address, and then the brokerage they work for, and their email and phone number and their mailing address. So the sky's the limit of what you can do with that. And the fact, like, works my moving company as well as I know your moving company, Stephen. We do a lot of things with Tier 2 data, and we just kill it with it.
If you're a moving company or home service business and it feels stuck this year, you're not alone. The market is changing. It's unpredictable. And the pressure is building, and it's all on your shoulders. But you don't have to guess your way through another quarter. On January 9th and 10th in Chandler, Arizona, I'll be here with Jeremy Miner. Also, Jason and Allie Watson and other multi-million-dollar business owners. We're hosting a 2-day event built to help you create the structure, the systems, the confidence to drive the real growth in your business that you're hoping for. This isn't about hype. It's all about execution and massive action. Click below to grab your ticket to the next step towards clarity and control in your business.
Hey, it's Mark with Movified, and I'm here to talk about Canada Home Listings. They are the only direct mailer service built specifically for household good movers in Canada. That's right, my hometown. They help moving companies reach homeowners the moment they list their home with proven mail campaigns that drive results. And for the Movified listeners, they're offering exclusive promotions you won't find anywhere else. So go check them out today. Go online, go do your thing, and go find them. Canada Home Listings right now. Go. And then keep watching the show.
Absolutely. Eric and I have obsessed and done this for many years on that side, and we're happy to build systems. And at Ready Rolls, I built a complete roll just based on how to utilize that data. So when you get a Tier 2 package, you can get a VA from Ready Rolls that we onboard with the systems that I've done over the years and constantly tinkered with over the years and conquered and continue to tinker with to get a better result for organizations. And I'm bringing in, per a $500,000 market, I could bring up to $50,000 in estimates in a month off that data. So I'm excited about the clients we do have and the success we're having in all this.
Oh, and the last thing that I'm super proud of that we didn't think would be possible. We knocked out of the park with a product we called Vacancy AI.
That's what I was going to lead into.
And that's been around now, I want to say, for about 3 months. And to really explain what it does, and this is something that people have always wanted or wished had happened. People used to, like, outsource this task to people internally in their office, or even, like, use VAs or do some manual work. So what Vacancy AI does is it's a software we built in the back end that basically you have all your realtors out there who list homes. All the same information gets uploaded to the MLS, like as far as photos.
Yep.
The MLS, then your main popular realtor or your real estate websites use the same information, the same photos. Zillow, Redfin, Realtor.com. So what it does is that it takes all them photos we do it nationwide, and we also do it nationwide in Canada too. We're in Canada as well.
Mexico, you're next. We're looking at you.
And it'll process millions of photos. So it processes millions of photos in a matter of minutes, and it'll remove all the homes that have no furniture in them. it's so good at what it does, and this part, it doesn't always get 100% accurate, but it does a good job. It'll also remove staged homes, virtually staged homes. It's gotten good at that.
Which is crazy to me. Sorry to cut you off there, but it's crazy to me because you're actually hurting yourself on. That's how I know you're in it for the client.
Yeah.
You actually are doing this, and you stop from postcarding vacant houses. So how much money you're saving a client is essentially.
Yeah, well, on average, it costs, including Works, including because my moving company uses USA Home Listings. On average, you're going to save about 25% in your mailing spend. Every market's different. Like in my market alone, we save 30%. We have, you're going to have markets like, and I would speculate, probably like Phoenix, Arizona area, probably some places in like Los Angeles County, things like that. Even probably like Cook County in Chicago, like where people have a lot of rental properties or Airbnbs and things like that. And like, so you'll see vacancy in places like that anywhere from like 30 to 35%.
And it saves you a postcard.
Well, not only that, like think about all the outreach we do with tier 2 data.
Yeah.
Why do you want to, in the time savings when you're not outreaching or even doing any type of like automation, anything at all to homes with no furniture in them? They're not going to be your customer. So that's something I'm really proud of that we pulled off. It took a ton of work, computing power, and some investments to pull this off. But I'm so proud because it's the only thing, as of now, in what we do, we're the only company in existence that offers this.
Agreed. I think if you haven't updated your account in your USA Home Listings right now, get a hold of your rep, call Hannah, call Hunter, and do an evaluation to make sure you're utilizing everything. I do that every year with USA Home Listings. So when they came out with a new product, you might not hear, we're busy, we're in the weeds. Get with your rep and say, hey, how are we doing these things? What do you have out there that can help my company make this more effective? And they are the most helpful group of people you could ever ask for.
Oh, and for you people that love tech and building systems and or outsourcing, building any type of like systemization, we opened up the API recently.
And there's the mic drop, lady.
Yeah, we opened up the API, and right away, quite a few. I think now that's been live for almost a month.
Yeah.
Almost a month, and of course we had like I know Works was we're always going to take everything. I think one other company actually was testing this out before we actually made it to the live to the open market. But no, that's been and. People are building some pretty powerful stuff, just going off on autopilot. And I know, like, one of the things you were talking about, Steven, I thought was brilliant was, like, anybody who's going to build some complex automations and on a data activator on top of that and just pouring gasoline on super system.
Yeah, the cold calling it works all day.
I do want to mention one thing about when I had previously spoken with Eric about Vacancy AI. I said, hey, Vacancy AI, Eric, I think you're going to mail less on this. And he said, yeah. I said, well, what's your end game on it? He said, get people the best data possible. I said, to what end? He said, they'll book more moves. And then I said, well, what's in it for you? And then he goes, hopefully they'll stay with me forever. And I really appreciate that he said that. Yeah. And I really appreciate that kind of value that vendors, that's no secret. That's an open secret. You want to get people the best data. You want them to make the most money, and then you want them to stay with you for the rest of their lives. I mean,
one of the first things I did when I took over CEO of USA was I put in a mission statement and core values and vision statement. And part of our mission statement is giving the best. One line in the mission statement is giving the best value to all our clients, no matter what, and
you live that.
Yeah,
seeing behind the scenes every day.
Like one of our core values is altruism, and that's having that's self. There's different definitions of altruism. It's a selfless concern for others or acting in selfless service. Like that's knowing that that would hurt our mailing. It wasn't really the primary focus because I want to have customers for life. But that was a definition there of one of our core values, altruism. And a lot of people aren't aware of what those are. It's more of an internal thing. But thanks for bringing that up, Brian, because it reminds me hey, that's why we made the decision.
Tim, 2026. You're leaving 2025 on fire? Are you going to continue to burn it in 2026? What's your plans with Movies and Built to Move?
Oh, yeah.
We already talked about Built to Move.
Yeah,
but
super excited for 2026. Companies are growing. You know, moving company grew a little bit this year. Movies is continued to grow, and is probably like my favorite business. And Built to Move, you know, is really exciting. You know, something new. You know, kind of a new venture. But I'm excited to see what we can turn this platform into to help continue to educate the moving and storage industry.
And you started Movies 2023 as well?
2020?
2020.
2020, I think. Yeah.
And let's go back to the same question from Eric. So a client from 2022 or before, what would you say is different about Movies than prior?
Yeah. So, well, I mean, we have more services now. We've got the CSR and the claims. We help some people with hiring. And then, of course, you know, sales has always been our main thing. But really, we've just continued to improve, right? So what we found is like sales consultants, if you train them and you launch them well, they're going to do good. But the longer you coach them over time and the more reps they get in, the better that they get, right? So a lot of our reps have been with us for 2 and 3 years now. And so we're just seeing like we're better than we've ever been, right? So like on average, we close about 36% of every lead that comes in through Movies, which is a number I'm really proud of because you know, we work for probably 30 something companies. And some companies are purchasing leads, and you know, some companies are more organic. So it's like kind of, you know, it's a good blend. But the team's just better than they've ever been. They just continue to get better.
We recently hired Ready Rolls to help us with hiring some offshore help, some DAs, and they've done an amazing job. You know, they found the perfect candidate for our company. Not only that, they helped answer the questions that we had about the process. You know, initially, you know, hiring a BA can be a bit intimidating, but they answered all the questions. It's been an amazing experience. You know, our BA has been a huge part of our success thus far. We're actually in the process of hiring a few more right now. Definitely see them as being a key part of our growth and reaching our goals in 2025. And another game changer for our company. I'm confident to be a game changer.
Visit ReadyRolls.com. There is now a better way to scale.
Brian, so it's interesting that you're here. It's interesting that you have us.
It's interesting that I'm here. It's my house.
I mean, but you have us here on the podcast.
You guys are my friends.
But Brian, you have what a lot of people would say. You have the experience that you could do anything. You could go to any other industry. You are truly donating your time, right? So what are some ways in 2026 you're going to continue to stay in the moving industry?
Yeah, so I think it's just staying around my friends, staying active in the community, you know, and just continuing to learn, and just continuing to practice free throws, I guess you could say is something that I'm interested in working on, and then just figuring out from the, you know, as AI starts to become more prominent, I myself in the laboratory are just really working on ways that AI is going to, you know, change this industry. Voice agents, text automations, end-to-end. Sort of, we're getting to a place in software where everything is everything and everything can be integrated. So there's some creative ways that people are integrating, you know, Dialpad with smart moving. There's some interesting ways that people are doing, you know, their VoIP system along with their SBHR system, along with their CRM, along with yada, yada, yada. So I think that the winners in the future are going to be people that get to leads the quickest, that give the best communication and best quoting to the customer, and that hire proactively and not reactively. So I think that there's a ton of systems that are not currently being employed in order to do those. And I myself, just really for myself at this point, are trying to drill down on ways that I'm convinced that people will be running 30 truck operations with 2 or 3 people in the office starting here within the next couple of years. I'm convinced about it. I don't really know if any systems on market currently can support that sort of thing. So I'm interested to see how and where the industry goes from here.
All right, I got one question to end it on today. Well, where do you see the moving industry in 3 years?
I'm going to agree with Brian. The companies that are going to survive and thrive 3 years from now are going to be the companies that like build systems and implement things that Brian's talking about. I don't, when he says I could see 30 truck companies running with Very few people. I think you said 3, maybe a little more than that, but low
No, I'm
numbers.
saying operationally 3.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't see that being out of the question. One of the reasons that we dominate our market so well is that we're probably 10 to 15 years ahead of our competitors, and they're just like they just can't even. We've taken so much market share ourselves in a housing market that keeps getting worse every year. Like everyone remembers how bad 2023 was, but technically, at least in my market, the housing market in 2024 and 2025 have been much worse than when it was horrible in 2023, and we just keep growing and getting more profitable. And the only way that's happening is through market share. So
How is moving going to change in Atlanta when you say, hey, well, where should I price my company in 2025? And Eric's saying, well, Allison, go and call 5 companies and see where they're priced. And you know what he's going to say next year or in 2 years? He's going to say, let's look at the thousands of people that we moved this year. Let's look at the outcomes. Let's look at what we estimated them. Let's look at the outcomes. CRM is going to determine for us exactly what the cost is going to be based on similar profiles. So I think that's where the industry's heading.
Jim, what do you think?
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. I think if you're going to be in this industry, you have to continue to adapt. And right now, technology in AI is coming at us so fast. If you want to compete, you're just going to have to stay on the cutting edge.
100%. I'm going to share mine, and we've talked a lot about that on this trip, but I'm going to allude to a little more what Brian said about 3 operational and Eric said about 3 operators, right? You'll need some VAs to support the business and a lot of AI. But if you're looking at your organization right now and you're 3 years and you have key members of your team who aren't using AI, who aren't determined to learn it, right? They are not going to be those 3 members. So you need to go ahead and confront that now. The 3 members of the team are going to be able to do more because they can effectively use AI for your organization.
And I think when Steven's talking about AI, right, and we've been talking about this all weekend, I think when he's talking about AI, he's not talking about using Claude Code. He's not talking about Claude Code in order to do deep, complex things. He's not speaking about Manus, and he's not speaking about all of these things, right? He's just speaking about base level AI competency. This is how I can search for something, and getting away from Google and getting, just me creating a spreadsheet in 16 seconds that might take Tim, Eric, or Steven, if they weren't leveraging the same technology, 3 or 4 days to do.
I couldn't even make a spreadsheet without AI.
What did you do before AI? I had no spreadsheets.
I had other people in my company that are smarter than me.
All right. Well, for Movified and our guests, I wanted to say, like our listeners out there, and from me, I want to say to you 3 gentlemen, thank you very much for everything you put in this industry. Thank you for everything you put into my company through what you give this industry. And it means the world to me for us to have this friendship, for y'all to be so accessible and do things like Movified and Built to Move and continue to up this industry. I couldn't ask for better friends on my side. You guys are my best friends. You all raise my bar every day. So thank you on my side. So on that note,
save that for my eulogy. I'm going to need some of that.
God, man, I'm getting the feels right now.
Yeah, but on that, go ahead.
Can you put the link or put the discount code Movified BTM? I'll save $50 off the early bird pricing.
Absolutely, have it shared on the comments on that side.
It's also mine and Tim's K-pop band is also BTM. If you're on Spotify, that's our K-pop.
Yeah,
that's our K-pop band.
And you're going to drop a link in MCOU as well. Already have as well, right? On Moving Companies Owners Unite.
Yes. Yep.
They would just use that code from that link.
Yep.
All right, guys. Well, hey, thank you very much. Special episode this week. We missed Mark, but we know he's busy and doing great things for us. And stay Movified.